you talked about Tiger, speaking of him, about how he's kind of always done this instinctively. He really hasn't played overly aggressive with his irons, despite being one of the best, if not the best, iron ball strikers out there. And you actually referenced the 2019 Masters, where he was basically, I think it was the last day you had the pins of where the pin was and where Tiger was. And he was, I think, maybe all 18. He never was like short-sighted.
He wasn't himself. Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing with DeChambeau in the final round of the 2020 US Open that he won at Winged Foot. It's just some of the best ball striking rounds ever where, sure, they didn't hit a whole lot close, but they hit the right amount close. They made the right amount of putts, and they didn't make the silly bogey. Again, we've got something we track in the app called in the Decade app called the Tiger 5, which are how many bogeys on par fives, how many doubles, how many three putts, how many bogeys with 9-iron or less, which we turned into bogeys from inside 150. And Tiger tracked how many blown easy saves, which we turned into 2 chips. And that's what I was thinking when you were talking about getting too short-sighted and making a double. That's, you get a little too cute with a chip shot now and you just dump it 2 yards short and then you don't get that one up and down. You just made double. And it's like, when you finish a round of golf and think you should have shot lower, it's always one of those 5 things. Like It's literally always one of those 5 things. And that's what Tiger in the early 2000s, mid 99 season through 2007 or 8, whenever, he kind of stopped playing as much. That's what he was focusing on, was eliminating those 5 mistakes. And he knew that if he kept those to a minimum, he'd probably be in the hunt. And again, none of those are go out and do amazing things. It's don't do the stupid stuff that, again, everyone listening at home, 100% of us think we should have shot lower every single time we tee it up.
Every time.
And every round, 100% of the rounds, like even your best round ever, you think you should have shot lower. It's literally
out there. Yep.
Yeah, we're just literally insane. And those shots are always one of those 5. That's what we're trying to kind of recognize in advance. If I make a bogey here from 110, it's going to be one of the shots that makes me feel like after the round I should have shot lower. And then once you really understand that the scoring average from 110 yards on the PGA Tour is like 2.82, like you don't need to make many birdies to average 2.82, but what you don't want to do is make the silly, stupid bogeys, giving those very few precious birdies away. And that's, again, I don't want you out there tiptoeing around just trying to not make mistakes, but also at the end of the day, that's technically what you're trying to do, is just not make mistakes and trust the good stuff's going to be there.
Yeah, and I like how you said, too, with Tiger, he always, I think you even had a quote where he said he swings aggressively to his spots. So he might not always be attacking flags, but he is picking his spots, he's committing, and he's swinging aggressively at that spot. And I love that. I think that if people had that mentality, that would just have a huge impact on their commitment to the shot and being okay with not aiming at the flag.
Well, and what you're talking about there exactly is, I've got a video in the app where Tiger, he's in the booth at the Hero and they're asking him, Tigers, you've gotten older. Do you play more conservatively or more aggressively? And Tiger's answer was, I play aggressively, 100%, very aggressive. But I'm aggressive to my spots, which are probably more on the conservative side. Mm-hmm. But I'm still playing aggressively to them. And that's, again, getting back to that idea of picking a good target and then actually trying to hit it there and then trusting you won't. I mean, that's whenever I was in my 20s playing, I played in some Korn Ferry events and in the US Open, and I hated using caddies. And I just thought back then that it was because I'm a little bit antisocial. I'm a little bit weird. And so I just thought I hate chit-chatting. And so that's what I thought the problem was. And in hindsight, I actually just hated telling somebody else, I'm going to start it at that lip of the bunker and cut it back to there, because I knew I wasn't going to do it. And then I felt like an imposter. And again, I've had this same conversation with tour players where they're just like, oh, I actually realized early on I hated playing with a caddy because I hated trying to tell them what I was going to do, because I knew I just never was. But that's where over the last 2 weeks I played in the Texas Mid-Am. Obviously, I'm a 49-year-old amateur. And then for whatever reason, I entered the PGA Tour Korn Ferry qualifying. And part of the difference was I shot even par for 3 rounds at the state Mid-Am and finished like 19th. And I made a lot of just impatient decisions. I'm also just trying to play a little bit of golf. I haven't played much golf this year. And more than anything, trying to get some semblance of a game for Q school the following week. But then that following week, I told my caddy, I'm like, I want to play with 100% discipline and patience here. Do not let me hit a single shot. We're going to be playing in 5 hours and 20 minutes. So we're in no rush. Don't let me hit a single shot where I haven't painted the exact picture for you of what we're going to do, what I'm going to do on this shot. And he's like, cool. And so I literally went from in the Tiger 5 mistakes. I'm making this up. I was just trying to find it in a spreadsheet, but I think I had 4.25 points on average a day, or 4 1/3. So I had like 13 Tiger 5 mistakes at the Texas Mid-Am. And then the next week I only had 8 Tiger 5 mistakes at Q School. I shot 7 under for 4 rounds at Q School, and missed advancing again as a 49-year-old amateur by only 1 shot, which I'll take that, all things considered.
Absolutely.
And that's just from playing with, taking your head out of your butt. I mean, literally nothing more. It's not like I got better over the course of 3 days. I drove it fairly well, and I just didn't do the stupid stuff. And I do believe I didn't do a lot of the stupid stuff